Hi guys. Um, so today I am feeling highly emotional, uh, like pretty emotional. So my whole life I've struggled with like self-esteem and feeling, when you don't feel like you belong, sometimes it makes you think that you're an outsider, and sometimes it makes you think that you're not the same level as other people. At least it did for me. But I've always struggled with my self-esteem. That's always been something that's been pretty hard for me. And feeling like I was worthy and special and meant for something. And I always knew that I had this purpose in life, and I knew that I had this power that I was supposed to share with others. But I didn't feel like I was ready. I didn't feel like I was good enough. I didn't feel like, the message needed to be heard because there's so many similar messages out there. All these different things running through my head, right? And within the last couple months, I've really, my self-esteem has just shot up. Not that I'm overconfident, but I have figured out my power, and I've figured out what I'm supposed to do for others. And by realizing that by connecting with others just on a day-to-day basis, that I am able to inspire them and that I am able to awaken them to their spiritual path and their purpose. That was really big for me to understand the weight of that and how important that is, and that that's not something that I should take lightly. And when I realized that I was here for a purpose that was pretty important, I realized maybe I'm important. Not saying that I would never say that one person is above another person, or that one person is better than another person. That's never ever been my mentality. But realizing that there is something very special inside of me, and realizing that it's meant to help others. And I think that was the biggest message that's come across. And as I've gained my self-confidence, I have started connecting better with people and realizing that there's a reason that you connect to certain people. So sometimes if you're in the grocery store or just going about your day-to-day life, just doing your, day-to-day activities, there's this draw that you get. And sometimes I feel my heartstring connected to somebody else's heartstring. And I'm I need to talk to them. Not just on a, hey, how's it going surface level, but I need to talk to them on a deep level. And usually every single time that I follow that instinct and I go to those people that have that pull that I feel in my heart, I have the best conversations, and I'm usually very inspired afterwards, and I feel that the people that I connect with are really inspired afterwards. And so today I was at work, and I had a customer that came in, and they come in regularly. And when I said, "How are you?" the customer understood that I wasn't just asking for, "Hey, yeah, I'm fine." I was asking on a deep heart-based level, "How are you?" And the customer responded, and it was very heartbreaking, right? They had been through so much, but being able to connect with them on a spiritual level and being able to have my heart see their heart, it was so uplifting for both of us. And I realized, as a channel, and as somebody who can be a mediator between those that have passed on and those that are still here, that's a big gift. And sometimes we don't realize the power that holds, to be able to pass on a message from a loved one that's passed on. It brings people so much comfort and so much joy in those moments. And so when I was able to share things with her, she lit up and was that's exactly what I needed to hear in this moment. And that is the motivation and the inspiration that I need to keep continuing to develop my craft and keep, working on my spirituality, and to keep my head clear, because, sometimes we get so inundated with all of the sensory information that comes in on a daily basis, and it's hard to figure out like what's ours and what's other people's. And I just wanted to share this because I think that it will help other people that are on the same path, and knowing that when we follow those intuitions that we get, we follow our heart, we follow those moments where we're asked to step out of our comfort zone, and we're asked to do something that might seem out of the ordinary for us. So here we are. I'm at work. I'm talking to this customer on a very spiritual level, and we're having a very deep soul-to-soul conversation. But we're going about the day, right? So there's other people around us. It's a very intimate conversation, but it's happening in public, but done in a kind way, right? I wasn't spilling her business out or anything, but the thing is that sometimes those moments, just day to day, right? We forget to step outside of ourselves and realize like, oh yeah, that's right. If I'm asked into this as a purpose for my life, it's a constant thing. It's not a when we feel like it thing. It's a constant thing. It's a way of life. At least that's my personal experience. I know a lot of people that choose to have certain hours that they are available for channeling, or certain hours that they're available to be connected by spirit. But for me personally, I know that I'm meant to connect whenever asked. And so I do that because that's my act of service. But the conversation with this person was so beautiful, and I cried, and the person cried, and later my coworkers were like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "No, it was the most beautiful." Yes, I'm okay, but it was the most beautiful, heart connecting moment, and it really opened me up so much. And I realized like how much this person needed that energy to be able to continue. And there's a reason that she came into my line. There's a reason that we were together today. There's a reason for everything. And sometimes we forget that, right? That everything is just interconnected. But like I said, as my confidence has gone up, before I probably would have maybe bypassed the situation and not said as much as I said. But I realized like you have to take those moments when they're available. And so I did reach out to the customer, and I said, I'd like to give you my phone number. I'd like to connect with you outside of work, and when we can like really sit down and have a conversation. But the moment that we shared was so beautiful and so touching and so inspiring and so real. It was so raw, right? And it's just, to me, it's saying that everything that I've thought this whole time is true. And sometimes, when I'm like, oh yeah, I'm special, but then you forget to look at the ways that the universe shows you you're special, and you're valued, and you're important, and you're doing something that benefits those around you. And so if you are on the spiritual path as well, obviously everybody's purposes are different, and everybody's path is different, because some people take different paths. But if you're on the spiritual path and this is something that resonates with you, please understand that you are super valuable. You're super important. The work that you do, even though it seems minute, it is super powerful. Because what seemed like a minor conversation between two people probably change the trajectory of that person's entire day and or life. Not saying, I'm not trying to like build myself up or like get myself a big head or anything, but we don't understand sometimes the impact that small moments have on another person, and just realizing that every moment should be valued, and we should take those opportunities when they become available, because sometimes the universe makes those little moments in time specifically for somebody's healing, and we don't know when we're supposed to be of service, right? But just being available when we're called upon, and following your heart, following your intuition. I think that that's really important as well. But hopefully you resonated with this. But to me, it really helped to solidify, you know, the power that I was feeling. I love how the wind picked up and it's getting stormy. But it helped to solidify the power that I was feeling, and the confidence that I've been feeling, the renewed confidence in myself. And it helped me to see, like, yes, this is what you're supposed to be doing, and this is the path that you're supposed to be on. And so I really like those moments of synchronicity. And the funny thing was, there was, she was telling me about a dream, and the dream had the numbers 445. And when I looked down after our conversation, I looked down at the computer screen for the register, and it said 444. And so I noted that to her, and I said, do you realize, like, you had just been talking about 445, and then we had this powerful conversation, and then I looked down at the register and it's 444. It's like, those synchronicities. It's important to pay attention to those details, right? And just opening our eyes up to the people around us, because sometimes when we're out and about and we're doing things like at the grocery store or whatever we're doing, we're very like focused, or at least I am. I'm very focused. I'm very like kind of in my own little world, in my own little space. And sometimes, you know, it takes that moment to like look around and say like, oh, you know, there's other people here. And then usually when I acknowledge that, then I'm like, oh, I could be of service to this person. And you kind of get that spark of intuition of the people that are meant to be talked to and the people that are meant to be healed and helped. But anyways, I just thought that it was a beautiful moment, and I wanted to share that with you. And I hope that you're all having blessed days, and stay strong, stay in your power. This is a really hard time in life, and there's a lot going on. There's a lot happening underneath the surface. There's a lot happening that we're not aware of and we don't see fully. But everything will make sense in due time. So just stay in your power and stay where you're meant to be. Okay? Follow your hearts. Thank you. Bye.